thank you so much for joining us today, everybody, for today's CMA Showcase video. I'm really excited, actually, because I'm joined today by none other than Dr. Sebastian Liu. Sebastian, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
I'm glad to be here. Yeah.
Yes, it's wonderful to have you. And you're joining all the way from Singapore.
Yes, that's right.
Oh.
Singapore now is 8:21 p.m.
Yes, getting on in the evening, isn't it? Yes, it's still very relatively early in the day here today. Sebastian, I was looking at your fantastic website, and actually for our viewers, if you look underneath at the show notes for this video, you'll be able to see Dr. Sebastian's website and his social media details as well. So you'll be able to contact him after this interview. But Sebastian, your website's fantastic. It really is absolutely wonderful. Tell us a little bit about your story. So for our viewers and listeners, would you be able to tell them a little bit about your work and the way that you help people?
Well, I am a qualified medical herbalist. I graduated from Australia, but my first teacher was actually from America. And then I study further sort of other courses in Germany as well. I studied Hildegard of Bingen medicine, which is a Western German kind of medicine. And then I've been practicing since technically since 1999, but I didn't, the first few years was a struggle for me in Singapore because practically nobody knows what is Western herbal medicine. They know about Chinese medicine, but not Western herbal medicine or naturopathy. And then I struggled through a few years before formally I, set up a private limited company in 2004. So I've been practicing for nearly 20 years. So I'm seeing patients every day, and ranging from children's health to women's health, men's health, elderly, chronic diseases, autoimmune diseases. Most of people come to me, they see me for very complex cases because they have already tried conventional medicine. Maybe they also try other alternative medicine as well. They want to try something, another approach. In Singapore, I call it phytotherapy, means plant medicine. Because when I mentioned about herbs, they thought, oh, is it Chinese herbs? So, because we are 70% Chinese in Singapore, right, the race. So, yeah, I've been doing that for nearly 20 years. And then I also do a lot of educational work because I believe the job of a naturopath is to teach as well. So I focus a lot on also teaching people how to prevent chronic diseases and promote healthy aging, things like that. Because aging is something we cannot avoid, right? So you must well do something to slow down the aging process. So all these things I have learned through the years of clinical experience, treating people from babies and kids. They used to be kids, but now they are already big boys and big girls, my patient, all right. So they started with very complex cases, so I'm very happy to be in this path for a number of years. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. It's interesting, actually, you say about very complex cases. And I think as a trailblazer, as you are, bringing Western herbalism into Singapore is quite fascinating. I think it isn't unusual, I think, for us as practitioners to end up with very complex cases because quite rightly people do go to their conventional medical doctor, or I should say understandably they go to their conventional medical doctor first, which is completely understandable because that's the way we've all grown up. You've got something wrong with you, go to the doctor. However, of course, what we're now seeing, and I do think conventional medicine is really starting to understand, is that lifestyle is really, one of the main causes of the plethora of chronic disease that we're seeing. And it's the sort of thing that we in complementary medicine handle incredibly well. That is the reality of the situation. And actually, I don't know how things are in Singapore, but certainly here in the West, what we're seeing is that doctors, especially the younger doctors coming through, are very aware that lifestyle issues need to be addressed. And this is why they are so much more accepting of the work we do in complementary integrative medicine. Is that the same in Singapore? Are you seeing the same sort of thing in Singapore?
Yes, actually in Singapore, especially after COVID-19, the government shifted their attention on preventive medicine. So they actually encouraged the medical doctors, the GP, to set up some kind of, because Singapore is very small, but yet certain area they allocate a GP to take care of their chronic diseases. But of course, their paradigms is actually based on medication. Yes, they do talk a little bit more about lifestyle changes, exercise, eat a healthy diet, things like that. But I believe there's a lot of blind spots, in their treatment, and also you cannot blame them because they are also very busy. I have relatives who are doctors. They will tell me, say, "Oh no, uncle, this is your job, not our job, because I only spend 5 or 10 minutes. I don't have time, And yes, they are trying their best to go into preventive medicine. The government here is quite good. They actually encourage healthy lifestyle and things like that. But I believe our role as a naturopath and a complementary medicine practitioners, we spend a little bit more time because people need to integrate that, need to be empowered. They also need to see a good example in the practitioner. No point I talk to them about healthy lifestyle and I don't have a healthy lifestyle. Right? So it's some kind of empowerment that people will be encouraged to follow. It's very easy to put up, say, oh, you need to exercise, you need to eat a healthy diet. They put up posters in the train station and all this thing. But how does it how do they integrate and how to empower them? Because in Singapore, many people are very busy, very stressful lifestyle. They need someone to listen to them, So our role is really to give them a holding space. So that's what I do. Give them the holding space and go beyond just exercise and diet, which are important, because I also go into, because I use both traditional methods and so-called the scientific method, the medical side, to look at their terrain, to look at their potential problem, right? I also use tongue diagnosis and pulse diagnosis. I learned both tradition, the Western Greek method and the Chinese one as well. So we look beyond that because we look at even the emotion side, and the spiritual side as well. So it's very, very integrated. I put everything, my concept in the books that I wrote, My Healing Life and From Leaf to Life. So, there's something that we can contribute to this preventive medicine, much more in-depth in that sense. Yes, they're doing a good job. At least it's a good start, from the government. It's a good start rather than nothing, But it's very promising, for us to go a bit deeper.
When we were speaking earlier, actually, you did mention that your books are available on Amazon. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yes, that's right.
Okay. So what are they? Just repeat those titles again.
The latest book is a thin book. It's a yellow colored book. It's called My Healing Life. The most important work in life. And then the very first book I wrote was a bit thicker because I wrote it like a thesis, because it was my first book, I need to justify myself. I need to back up with evidence and things like that. So that book is,
I've been there. I know exactly what you're saying.
It took me a few years to write because I was like writing a master degree thesis, And that book is called From Leaf to Life, LEAF TOLIFE, Leaf to Life. Yes.
Oh, fantastic. So I want all the people watching this and listening to it, head on over to Amazon right away. This into the show notes as well, of course. It sounds as though you're doing absolutely fantastic, groundbreaking work, and it's really exciting to hear about this. So how do people actually, how do you treat people? Do they have to physically come to you?
Yes.
Or are you able to assist people globally online? I mean, I appreciate that you can't do
Yeah.
diagnosis distant from
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
how do you work with people?
Um, basically, as far as possible, we need to see the person because in holistic herbal medicine, which I practices, even though I was trained in so-called the scientific phytotherapy,
Yes.
I use more and more of the traditional method, looking at the energy pattern, the terrain of the person, observing, touching the skin when I feel the pulse, things like all this will develop into a pattern for me to observe. So because I am accredited with the Naturopath and the Herbalist Association of Australia, and they require us to at least the first consultation to be face to face. But on a practical note, there are some people who can't come to Singapore, and I had to use the Zoom method. So I gather as much information as possible, ask them to take a picture of their tongue and so on, and then looking at their symptom. So it's really my intuition to look at a pattern. Because more and more I go into that, looking at the pattern, so the observation. Okay.
Yes.
Even though it's on Zoom and things like that. Because I have a client actually from Philippines, from Malaysia, even Hong Kong, because my products are selling in Hong Kong. Some of my signature formulas are actually selling in Hong Kong besides Singapore.
Right.
And so I have some kind of online consultation, how to use the product and things like that. And that is the reason why I go more and more into healthy aging and preventive health. Because I cannot reach out to everybody, right? I cannot, not everybody can come and see me, right? But at least the satisfaction is that I can help them to be more healthier,
Yes.
through maybe the product support them, but also through the educational channel and things like that. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yes, you're doing amazing work. It really is very, very exciting. So, I can imagine people listening to this would think actually it's worth making the trip to Singapore to come
Yeah.
and see you for the first consultation. I appreciate you can do
Yes.
things
Yes.
distantly, but I personally, I would make the journey to see you. Yeah, it sounds absolutely superb, and you are such a trailblazer. Doing something as, I mean, it's really interesting to me. When you're coming from a predominantly Chinese culture to really be brave enough to say, actually, we've also got Western herbalism.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
It's quite amazing that
No,
you.
although I'm from Chinese background, my parents were veteran Cantonese opera artists. So
Wow.
I know Chinese, but I came from an English educated school. So I was English educated. So
Yes.
I study about Western culture and things like that. And
Yes.
and and I speak English most of the time.
Right.
Only
Yes.
increasingly nowadays I have Chinese as well. So but it's interesting because it's also the culture. Because
Yes.
I was interested in since I was a young boy, I was interested, I don't know, for some reason, just like you are interested in Southeast Asian, right? I was interested in Roman Greek culture, and then the Hippocrates and Aristotle and all this kind of thing.
Yes.
So I was very interested in that. So when I was presented with the opportunity to learn about natural medicine, I picked Western in a sense that also for some kind of maybe I came from a very rebellious kind of nature. I was thinking everybody learn Chinese medicine. Let me learn something different, and see what happens.
I love it. Oh, brave man, very brave man.
Yeah,
I could speak with you all day, quite honestly, and certainly
yeah,
catch up about all the magical things going on in Singapore, and I can share the magical things with you that are going on over here in the
yeah,
UK. We need to bring you back. I just wanted in this chat to scratch the surface, to introduce you to our audience,
yeah.
and
Thank you.
really, and to signpost them to you. So if they are, experiencing chronic conditions that they're just not getting answers to. It may well just be that you are the man. And so I do want, people to take that on board. But we will bring you back, because I think it's really important that our viewers and our listeners get to hear a lot more from you, Dr. Sebastian. You're quite an amazing gentleman. We're so privileged to have you with us here at the Complementary.
Thank you.
We're so proud. And it's just been an absolute joy to talk with you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, me too. My pleasure. Yeah.
Thank you. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.